All right, guys, let's also talk a little Lordstown Motors. That stock taking a beating this morning after the EV truck maker announced it was filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The company is also suing Taiwan-based manufacturing giant Foxconn Technology. And joining us now with more on this, we've got Yahoo Finance reporter Josh Schafer. Josh, what do we know?
Yeah, Brad. So Lordstown Motors, as you said, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy today, also suing Foxconn. Remember, that's the Apple iPhone maker. That's what we most commonly know Foxconn for, so that's why that's very notable. And really what happened here is Lordstown Motors has not been able to sell a lot of vehicles. They've been struggling. They had sought out Foxconn for funding, and they're saying Foxconn never gave them that full funding. Foxconn argued, well, the stock price went down too low, so we didn't owe you the money. That will be played out in court, but it's going to be interesting to, again, see that iPhone maker have to go to court with an American company, a Taiwan-based company there, going to court with an American company. And I think the interesting thing with Lordstown, when you zoom out, bankruptcy, you always think, what are the assets, right? So they have that endurance pickup truck that is a certified vehicle in the U.S. that they have delivered, and they have a plant in Lordstown, Ohio, that someone might want to buy. That is an operational plant that an up-and-coming EV maker,
well,
or even an
Foxconn owns it now, don't they?
I think, but I think that would also be what the court case is about, right?
Yeah,
so then if they
right.
were, right, so that would be, we're spinning it forward a little bit,
Yeah.
but potentially Foxconn might not own that, depending on how the court case goes, right?
Oh, I see. Because they did buy it as part of this whole deal.
Right.
Foxconn, if they do end up keeping it, they could use the plant, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, one of the threads we were talking about this morning in our meeting is that obviously there are stakes here, not just for Foxconn and for Lordstown Motors, but for the town of Lordstown itself, which was... The whole prospect was like revitalization of this town. And now there are a lot of questions about what the future looks like for them.
You know, it was a promising, I mean, you remember former President Trump was saying, Lordstown Motors, this is a great moment. They introduced the truck on the White House lawn. That was just 2-3 years ago now. And now you're seeing this company file for bankruptcy. I also think there's an interesting stock story here, too, when you think about a 2020 SPAC IPO that was trading at over $400 per share. You take a look at that max chart. Now it's down below $2. I mean, they only had 188,000, 189,000 in quarterly net sales in the most recent quarter. So they never really materialized as a company, which I think is always interesting when you think about these SPACs, these IPOs, what are they actually doing from a business perspective when you're buying those stocks?
Well, that was part of that whole enthusiasm that we had, not just for electric vehicles, but for autonomous vehicles.
Right.
I think of Argo AI, which also filed for bankruptcy, one of those early players in the AI business. And you had some others that came public through SPACs, right, that also saw surges at that time. And now, as time goes on, I mean, you have to think about that as we look at the AI situation now.
Right.
And whether they're going to be, I mean, whenever you get a hype like that.
Yeah, a bubble. The bubble always pops, at least a little bit.
There are some that don't survive.
Yeah.